Regardless of what I think, regardless of any of that, Russell Westbrook is part of the team now. And, when you say that, that comes with a lot of expectation, even more than what it might have already been, because a lot of people might actually look at the Clippers as more of a threat to win the West now and win the championship by adding Russell Westbrook. I'm listening to some of the, analysts and people like that, like Chris Broussard and a few others. They believe that, adding Russell Westbrook is great, for the Clippers, and he's more of a fit for the Clippers rather than what he was for the Lakers. And you can look at it from a different standpoint and say, yeah, he might be a little bit more, for the Clippers in regards to the role that he can play and how he can provide, good production for them rather than what he did for the Lakers, because it just seemed like a bunch of confusion, and, playing on the same team with LeBron is just difficult, so I definitely give Russ that. But at the same time, we have to look at it and we have to analyze it. Will Russ be able to, stretch the floor at times and knock down, a shot if needed, because it's going to come to that in the playoffs. We know Russ is going to be there every night. We know he's going to play his heart out. We know he's going to do all those things because that's what he does well. And, he's going to, make some splash plays, and he's going to make some boneheaded plays, what I'm saying? And he's going to cause turnovers. He's going to have turnovers, whatever the case may be. He's going to have all those things happen because that's who, Russ is, and he's not changing anytime soon. And, I don't know what specifically they're going to have Russ do. I don't, some say he might be in the starting lineup. Some say he might come off the bench. I personally, if I were Ty Lue, I probably would let Russ come off the bench and, see what he can bring energy wise to the second unit and allow, Kawhi and PG to do their thing, running with Terence Mann. The last, 10 of last several games, I'll say, Terence Mann has been doing very good, to me. I think he's been holding his own, even though the Clippers been playing pointless, without a point guard, basically. What I'm saying? They definitely been playing point guardless, without a point guard, even though Terence Mann's been doing a good job. The Clippers have found a way really to, play fairly well, honestly. So, I'm proud of Terence Mann and what he's been giving, his energy, and, he's knocking down a three a little bit better too. Actually, he's shooting 39% from three, this year so far. So that's very good. And he hasn't taken that many, not that I, from what I remember, but either way, he's still shooting a very high percentage, a very good percentage from the three, stretching the floor, because when Russ come in, I don't know if he'll be able to stretch the floor like that for the Clippers. And I really don't believe he will, based upon his numbers. Now, they're not asking him to come in and, take 1 or 2 threes per game or something like that and pretty much push the pace and be aggressive. If that's what they're asking him to do coming off the bench, then, maybe the Clippers might, have a shot that way. I just think it's a very long shot with Russell Westbrook, my honest opinion, which you've heard me say before. It's just very hard to win championships with Russell Westbrook unless he's going to show us a different version of Russell Westbrook. I just don't really see it. If it does happen, I'll say this: there's still, in my mind, there's still definitely, a glimmer of hope. Of course, because they still got Kawhi Leonard, my favorite player, and they still got Paul George, who can go out there and get you a bucket any night, one of the smoothest players, in regards to gameplay that I've seen. And, Kawhi is definitely the best player in the league to me, if you ask me. But regardless of all that, they still got those two players, and they still got those 2 star players, and they can make up for, what Russ can't do, hopefully. I mean, the reason why I think the Lakers probably couldn't was because Anthony Davis was in and out the lineup so much, being in street clothes. They didn't have enough, time on the floor between him and LeBron to help the team stay afloat more due to Anthony Davis's injuries and LeBron's too. He has minor injuries, but still they count. And I feel like, of course, you got the load managing things like that to go on with the Clippers. But if, Kawhi and PG could stay healthy for the most part, and kind of, get some games under their belt with Russ a little bit here and there and try to really figure this thing out. Maybe like I said, there is a chance. There's always a chance if you have a top 5 player in the league. And Kawhi is still a top 5 player to me. He's a top 2, top 3 player when healthy, of course, but in my mind. But either way, when you have a player of that magnitude and that caliber, you can win a championship. And, honestly, like I said, Russ, is a Hall of Famer too, of course. Paul George will be also, so, it's a lot of, firepower they have there. As long as they can keep Russ, to scale down on the threes, be more aggressive, drive into the paint, just look for somebody to pass to, and don't try to make, don't try to be the hero. Don't try to make the flashy passes, make the correct pass, because that's what's going to help, this team get over the hump and, and help them win. Don't go in there and try to be, Showtime Russ. The Clippers don't need that. They need somebody come in there and be solid, understand their role, play it at a high level, keep the ball protected, don't turn the ball over much, and get the ball to the stars when needed. And when it's time for you to score, when it's time for you to be aggressive, you put your foot on the gas and don't look back. So that's exactly what I feel like, the Clippers need from Russell Westbrook. And I feel like they should have him come off the bench. That would be better to me. But of course, Ty Lue might, play with that a little bit. He might put him off the bench. He might put him in the starting lineup just to see what he can give and how he fits. And, probably definitely go from there. But like I said, I'm very shaky about the situation with Russell Westbrook. He's one of those players that, you could shake your head in either direction. You could shake your head on the good side and say, wow, I can't believe you made a play like that. But you can also shake your head on the opposite side and be like, damn, why the hell did he just do that? So it's like Russ is like, it's hit or miss with him more so in his career now rather than maybe where he was several years ago. But regardless, he's played with a lot of talent. He's played with a lot of, potential Hall of Fame players. And, he's playing with 2 more, you could say just guaranteed, lock Hall of Fame players, in Kawhi and PG, I believe. So especially Kawhi, but, he's playing with 2 more potential Hall of Famers, and, Russ has had, a lot of playing time with a lot of superstars. And this is really it for Russ, I think. So, I mean, regardless of what I think of him or what you may think of him or whoever else out there, thinks of Russ is going to have to try to make this work. And really the Clippers, of course, are on a championship course trying to, get to that destination. And they really can't allow Russ to hold them back from that. So whatever they told Russ or whatever conversation all of them had, sat down and had, which reports said, it should have been understood that Russ don't get in the way of what is trying to be built. And as long as they keep that mentality or that thought process or that, statement or whatever you want to say in Russ's head, as long as he keeps that thought process in his head, I think that, things might be okay for the Clippers. It's definitely scary having Russ on your team, especially based upon, he was just on the Lakers and they couldn't win a damn game half the time, what I'm saying? And even though it wasn't all his fault, but, some of his turnovers and some of the things he done or, on the bad side of basketball, which is, like I said, turnovers, things like that, and, missing, backdoor cuts, certain things, missing layups, things like that, it's really cost the Lakers a lot of games. Now, of course, this is a new scenery, new situation, so there's no need to look back on the past. But at the same time, we got to be, weary of the fact that, what Russ is capable of doing wrong, and which we all know is his biggest Achilles heel, which is turnovers. So with that being said, we have to, watch that closely and just hope that he doesn't exceed his turnover rate while he's on the floor with the Clippers, because it can mess up a whole lot in regards to how the Clippers, offenses ran and how they're just, putting things together as much as they can, especially now that Kawhi and PG for the most part staying healthy. So I mean, they gotta try to figure it out, and they gotta try to figure it out fast. There's only 20 plus games left in the season, so hey, shout out to them. Hopefully they could put it all together and see what happens. But it's like I said, it's gonna be a long shot. But either way, it is what it is now. The people who wanted it, you got it. Russ is here on the Clippers in LA once again. And hopefully his second go round in LA, could be a memorable one. So we'll see what happens. And hey, let's go and let's see how it turns out. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Also, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And hey, till next time.